People look at the price and say, oh, it's not real. It doesn't exist. I can't touch it. Why is it worth $40,000? In the next 10 years, when the baby boomers give their money to their kids and Bitcoin investment goes from 1% of hedge funds portfolios to 5 to 10%, $40,000 is going to be child's play in the next 10 years for Bitcoin. That's what I think. I really do think that. Once you start going down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, it's not just about Bitcoin. You start learning about how our current financial system is run. I actually think this is more secure and more true than the money that we use today. I don't think this is going to be the world's currency or anything, but I do think it's going to take a bigger percent over time in people's investments. There's like $200 trillion of global investment between the stock market and fixed income and gold, and Bitcoin right now is like 0.0005% of global investment. So this asset class, this is way bigger than people think. This is going to be much, much, much bigger in 10 years. So I just got my 30 amp 240 volt outlet installed in the garage, which is a L630R. It's on a 30 amp circuit down to a Pioneer stab lock panel. And in this video, I'm going to set up the rest of my Bitcoin mining operation. I have 3 S9 SE miners and they are pulling 51 terahash a second. And I have a few different parts I'm going to put together. I have some 14 AWG cables, a network switch, some Cat6 Ethernet cables, a network switch 8-port, which is unmanaged. It's just a splitter for Ethernet to go to my miners. I also have a 30 amp 240 volt PDU, which I'm gonna hang right here and hook up all my miners onto here. So I don't have to have 3 different outlets. This outlet will be able to handle all 3 of these units running at full load. This is good for about 5,400 watts, and these are pulling like 1,300 watts a piece. So I found a supplier on Alibaba that was actually making these out of a factory in China, because there's not very many companies that are making 30 amp 240 volt PDUs. The ones that are usually rack mounted, and I didn't really want a rack mount. So I found this on Alibaba. I'm gonna try that out, and if it works, I'm probably going to buy a case of 10 of them and sell them on eBay, because I can't find anybody that's selling these ones specifically that I bought. So what I had the electrician do was install this L630R outlet, which is 30 amp 240 volt, on armored cable along the wall up here, down here, into the basement, into the panel downstairs, which is on a 30 amp circuit. There's Kirsten with her roller skates. She loves her roller skates. So now that I have the proper electrical situation going on, I'm gonna unbox all this stuff and strap it up here and plug everything in and give you guys a tour of what I got going on. The main thing about mining Bitcoin is that you need to pay attention to your power requirements and make sure that all your cables and all your connections are proper and up to code, and you don't want to overheat anything. So these pull 1,300 watts. The cables that I got, 14 AWG, they are pretty thick and they can handle about 1,800 watts total, 1,400 with the 80% safety rule. So I got these, and these are C13 to C14, and this end will go into my PDU. These are just standard computer connections. And these are Cat6 Ethernet cables. You don't really need high bandwidth going to the miners, but I just bought Cat6 just because they were cheaper. And this network switch is unmanaged. It's pretty much just a splitter from one Ethernet, and I can split it to the multiple miners here. So let's rip open this PDU and see what it's like. I bought this off of Alibaba, so hopefully it's pretty good. This is pretty hard to open with one hand, so I'll be right back. This power bar will be able to handle the miners that I have on my 30 amp circuit. I think max watts is like 7,500, but the 80% rule puts you down at 5,500 watts. About 4 of these miners. I have 3 now, and if I decide to get more, I can add, I think, 1 more on my circuit here. And these are C13 outlets, or C14. It comes with the surge protector here. So these are really hard to find, and all the miners are gobbling up all this mining equipment, so I really had to hunt to track one of these down. So I think I'm gonna strap this PDU to this shelf here and see how that goes, so I'll be right back. So I got the PDU mounted on the shelf here. This is some serious cable. So I think I'm gonna use some type of clip and get it fastened to the wall to take some of the weight off. This is a twist lock, so it's not really gonna fall out, but I am gonna strap this 10 gauge to the wall. This is pretty heavy. There's already rack mount on the PDU, so the next thing I'm gonna hook up is this Ethernet switch. I'll be right back. So here's the network switch. It is a metal chassis, 8 ports. It does have mounting here, and I don't know exactly how I'm gonna put this up here yet, but I'm just gonna throw it up and hook everything together and get everything going, and I can worry about mounting it later. Well, first I'm gonna run my Ethernet to the input and then the output of these 3 to my units here. By the way, I live in Alberta, so if you're looking for electrical stuff that is kind of weird, like I had to buy a stab lock breaker for my Pioneer panel. I could not find a breaker anywhere, and these guys had it in Fort St. John. Conway Electric, I showed out for you guys. You guys had a bunch of stuff that I was looking for. Check these guys out in Fort St. John if you're looking for some odd things for your Bitcoin mining operation. So here I got my setup pretty much ready to go, except for a little bit of cable management. I got the PDU strapped up here into my 30 amp 240 volt that I just got put in. I have my network switch hooked up to my Wi-Fi extender via Ethernet out of the switch into my 3 mining units, and the power going out of the PDU into each of the 3 units via these 14 AWG cables. This main cable to this 30 amp 240 PDU is 10 gauge, which should be good for this 30 amp circuit here. So it is a bit of a mess. I'll see if I can hang these a little better, but I'm going to get 2 of these started. One still needs a proper PSU with the proper wattage to get this one going, but these 2 should work. And once I turn this on, they should start spinning up, and within probably 5 minutes, they should start to mine. And I'm going to check my mining pool to double check that I'm getting my terahash rate. So I'll do that now. I'm going to turn the power on. So when I flip this breaker here, everything should power up. Let's see, the moment of truth. There we go. So yeah, this is my little setup. I am able to pull 7,700 watts out of this outlet into this PDU and to the miners. But using the 80% rule, I can probably only safely get away with 5,500. So 5,500 divided by 1,400 or 1,300 watts a piece. That's 4, maybe 5 onto this outlet, and that'll be as much as this can handle. So that's my video about how I set up my small Bitcoin mining garage. I only have 2 units going. Maybe in the next video, once I get the proper power supply for this unit, I'll do a video about how I'm getting this up and running. And I'm gonna check my terahash right now to make sure I am mining, and I'm going to let this run 24/7. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.